Hello, my good people. Welcome back to our very channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are hearing us from. We welcome you to the channel, urging you to please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share our videos. Also, at the end, please remember to drop your comment. Now, the news comes from Simon Epa. Mazen Abdekano is blessed, is indeed called by God. For him to have a disciple like this, God blessed his work. His work of 5 years plus is not in vain. He trained so many of us, and so many have failed, but so many will not fail. That is one good thing about Populace, right? So this happens to be Simon Epa unveiling what Biafrans should know and understand, especially against the saboteurs. Thank you. Let's hear him out.
Today, they have destroyed the economy, they have destroyed everything, and you come back to square one. And then, when this man came to power in 2015, bag of rice was sold about 7,000 naira. Today, the bag of rice is 40,000. And then, after you suffer, after a while, the bag of rice will come back to 27,000. And you start praising them that, oh, the bag of rice is cheap now. They are now selling at 27,000. You forgot that it was 7,000 just few years ago. And what is causing all this problem? Because it is the nature, their nature. It is incompatible. We can never be one. The same thing that happened before Nigeria amalgamation is happening right before your own face. And when we talk about Biafra, you want to kill Samarapa. You say it is Nigeria because you have no knowledge about Nigeria, because you have no knowledge about anything, because you are a criminal and the only thing you are interested in how to steal money, how to be given appointment in Nigeria state, how you can phone money and loot and become rich. That's all. You don't care about anybody. But I'm telling you today that what led to this amalgamation was a conspiracy against the indigenous people, the Biafra people and the Yoruba people. It was a conspiracy. You can't deprive me the opportunity I have and pay other and use it to compensate another person. That is what is happening in Nigeria today. And that is why we are going to fight, because the time has come. We're going to do everything humanly possible to exit Nigeria. This war, if it is war, it is going to end. We will fight our war. You know, I've been saying this thing, some of you don't believe me. I know that now you'll be seeing some people. Maybe you will believe when the time comes. But what we are saying is that enough is enough. A lot of things have changed. Not have had its own structure now, that they can actually be very comfortable with their own. And this is a different century that everything is digital. So North is going to progress this time around, unlike before. Once we exit Nigeria, they are going to sit up. But with this particular structure we have today, North can never sit up. They can never ever sit up. It is in their blood and it is in their nature. That's why Nigeria can never work, because they have occupied sensitive positions that could propel the nation to move forward, and it can never move forward because that is not their nature. So before you fight for one Nigeria, know the history of Nigeria. Okay? Know the history of those who you are calling Nigeria with. Know the history of those who you are addressing as Nigerians. Know the history, how they come. Know the history of their culture. Know how they run administration. Know how they run government. Know how they think, their ideologies. Know everything about them so that you can know what you are fighting for. Some of the people fighting for Nigeria today don't know actually what they are fighting for. That's why it became very important that we begin to do this kind of teaching with the original document leading to the amalgamation of Nigeria. And I want to show you today that nothing has changed from that time till now. So when do you think something is going to change? If the British government could not solve the problem of northern Nigeria, is it P2B that is going to solve it? I want you to understand that the reason for amalgamation of Nigeria is because British government could not solve the problem of northern Nigeria. They invested billions and billions of pounds, yet they could not solve it. Do you understand? And when they could not solve it, what did they do? They pushed the problem to the southern Nigeria, deal with it, and they left. In a very short and very brief explanation, the British, let me show you again. This is the problem. The whole of the problem you see today in Nigeria is here. I want to bring it to the screen very well. You see this test here is the problem you are facing today in Nigeria. The British could not solve the problem. What did they do? They push it to the south. They said, let me read it again. The North largely dependent on the annual grant. They largely depended on they gave them annual grant. They could not generate any GDP. They could not generate any revenue. They could not generate anything. Not largely dependent on the annual grant from the imperial government. They say was barely able to balance. The North was barely able to balance its budget. The same budget that they can never balance today. The same thing is happening now. And let me bring, bring this one. Let me show you. You see this thing that, you see here, the same thing that North did before the amalgamation of Nigeria is happening here.
The lawmakers expressed displeasure with the Registrar of the National Board for Arabic and Islamic Studies, Mohammed Abdullahi, with a non-remittance of over 300 million naira revenue generated to the Consolidated Revenue Fund.
Who are able to pay 30 million naira
out of this 410 to conduct an exams in a year. They are saying they have spent 380 something million, and we are here to collect another budget from the federal government. I haven't contributed just 35 million, and if they ask for their budget there, they'll be telling me in the region of 10 to 20 billion naira.
5,963 members of staff arranging for one examination in a year and being paid 8.5 billion and now generating only 410, out of which you remit only 35 billion. There is a need to look deeper into what this is about.
The committee resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate activities of the institution.
Now, they need to investigate deeper. If she know the history of that comment, what is she going to investigate? If that woman know the history of Nigeria, she would not make. This is really the problem, that these people can never change. Here is the problem. What is it? Is because the British government could not solve this problem. They push it to the south, and now and get ourselves out of this mess. Look at it. Let me read it again. Whole of Nigeria problem lies largely dependent on the was barely able to balance its budget. They did not balance the budget before 1914. Budget here.
The lawmakers expressed the National Board for Arabic and Islamic with a non-remittance of over 300 million naira Consolidated Revenue Fund.
They cannot buy today. I want you people to understand. I'm saying you will all die miserably. Begin to listen to the word. One Nigerians will die miserably, very miserably. The policy of the government cannot change. They could not balance 1914. Now they are pumping billions into Islam. Cannot balance the budget of the Islamic study in 2000.
30 million naira. 30 million naira. Out of this 410. To conduct an exams in a year, they are saying they have, and we are here to collect another budget from the federal government. And if they ask for their budget there, they'll be telling me in 5,963 members of staff arranging for one examination. 8.5 billion. And
billion. They can never ever balance the budget.
Only 410, out of which
after they generate 400 million. The same policy that they were doing before the amalgamation of Nigeria. Invest 80 billion, get 400 million naira in return. What kind of that? And this is the nature of every government department in Nigeria. Every sector of the government controls, even the one that the Southerners controls, because they have already that most of them now think like Fulanis, interested in siphoning the money, looting it, parasite. In 2014, before that, these people cannot balance budget. You invest 8 billion and get 400 million. What do you expect to get? You expect to get the deteriorating state of the country because it's not a nation.
Only 35 billion.
Okay.
Into what this is about.
The committee.
To look deeper into what this is about. There is not bringing it to you to show you what this is. All about the fact that you are all non-entity. It is all about idiot because you can't read your history. So that when you are being confronted, you are going to address them. But they also know that you don't. So confront them objectively with fact and figures. How can you are serving Nigeria, you don't know anything about the people that are ruling you. You don't know their history. Deeper. Who is going to look deeper into it? Are doing here? It ends there. It ends there. Right there. Nobody can do anything. He said we are going to look deeper. We are going to play the video again.
With the Registrar of the National Studies, Mohammed Abdullahi, with a non-remittance of over generated to the consolidated
to feed such.
What they are saying here is that over 400 million naira they generated. So the first 8 billion. 8 billion. 8 billion. And in return, I've never seen anything like this. Okay, where you make investment to get 400 million, and in that 400 million, they remitted only 35 million. Can you imagine? 165 million gone with nobody. Okay, so I want you to watch.
Remittance of over 300 million naira revenue generated
and who are able to to feed 30
of this 410. To conduct an exams in a year, they are saying they have spent 380 something million, and we are here to collect another. Haven't contributed just 35 million, and if they ask for their budget there, they'll be telling me
5,963 members of staff. Examination in a year and being paid 8.5 billion and now generating only 400 to remit only 35 billion. Look deeper into what this is about.
The committee resolved to set up an ad hoc activities of the institution.
Now, ad hoc committee to investigate this. It's rubbish. If they know whom they they will be ashamed of themselves. They will know that all this setting up committee, the British could not solve it. Is it you that will solve it? You. Because their life and their nature is not the same. It's not progressive. It's Islamic State. All they are after is Sharia law. I want you, all of you, to understand today, or waiting for anybody. You don't know your history. Something that could not be. Yes? Is it that is going to solve it? I am measuring P2B video now to to talk about me, talk about P2B. So I'm asking you, is it P2B or who do you think will? And let me tell you, the North don't have a problem from this particular perspective. The North don't have problem. To us is a problem. To the British government, it's not a problem. That you can't change it. So what we are saying is that with us. Let us not see it as is a problem. Let us not see it as if Nigeria divide leave, North is going to suffer. No! It is us and them as if they are going to suffer. It is their nature. A problem. So we must be able to very blunt in telling this truth that when we say I want people to understand that the people that conquered northern Nigeria in house, they live in the bush, they live in the forest, they sleep with cows and sleep with animals. To be progressive, that lifestyle they are living is progressive to them. Their religion is what they need. They don't need to live in a out like me. They don't need to have like me and you, even though some of them now are having money and they use it to purchase arms and ammunition to do terrorism. You can't see it anywhere. You can't see them wearing expensive clothes in any community because it is their lifestyle and their nature. But people will know that you have $1. You are going to live. So when we are saying now the same thing is repeating itself, and this woman is saying they are going to set out into the culture of people to look into the way of life of something that was there before, and the culture have not changed. To change it, that is absurd. For because this is this is the most important section of these brokers today. Now, I want you to understand this thing continues. They say that I'm going to repeat it again, that is necessary in this kind of exposure. Dependent on the annual grant from the imperial government. Islamic study today, because it was barely able to balance its budget with the most parsimonious economy and the necessary staff to house its staff. The same thing, the Islamic study have come to National Assembly to spend. They could not pay 5,000 staff. 100 million. The Northern and Islamic study. Its energies were upon the development of the native administration and the revenue resulting from the direct taxation from the coast rendered the expansion of the trade difficult. Choose represented of a country with an aggregate revenue equal to its need. Are you hearing that? The revenue, I want you people to understand that they say that its distance from the coast, 250 miles, expansion of trade difficult. Now, I want you people to understand that before 1940, the anomaly was presented of a country, which is from northern Nigeria, of a country practically equal to its need. So what they say, what they are trying to tell you is that before 1914, the aggregate revenue of northern Nigeria is equal to its need. They generate 500 million. The need have nothing to offer. I want people to understand though, now it is no longer revenue is equal to its need. No. The situation now, the need is 8 billion. The revenue is 400 million. I am telling you, it is situation is worse. It's times 1,000 worse than 14. Today, from the perspective of, from this particular perspective, Islamic State, Islamic 8 billion annually, they will generate. But today, they are spending 8 billion. Not even 1 billion. Not half, not even 1/4 of the amount invested. So, and this is the way it is going to go worse every year that come and pass by. And yet, how it has affected your hospitals, how it has affected, you don't have good road, why the money stagnant in life. You come to America and you are happy, you are supporting one Nigeria. Meanwhile, the money that your own country to be like America, that you are living and bragging, is being used to sustain people that have nothing to offer. Don't need the money, because the money, it is only few people among them. And they don't use that money to do anything in their own community. They can't build road in their own community. Not absolutely nothing to contribute in their own community. They use the money to develop Arab countries. First. And you sit in America as an educated man. Yes. Because if you cannot make this simple arithmetic that I'm doing today, thing I'm taking today objectively to see the need for and support Biafra government mountain once and for all, then it means that your word and your is wasted years. It is wasted years. To win in court and come to do, you are, honestly. Because what I'm doing here news. Is what I'm doing on the fake news? No. Because Nepa is king of fake news. Never had the opportunity to listen to me when I make exposition. They never have the time to listen and talk and analyze. They never had the opportunity to listen. King of fake news. I don't know which fake news I'm. Now I'm here telling you a practical thing that Northern Nigeria it's not their nature. Northern Nigeria does not need development. People that have conquered them through terrorism, Usman Danfo. It is here in British report. They say Fulani, and Fulani are nomadic. Nomadic doesn't live in a house. Nomadic are not interested in development. And the Northern Nigeria have embraced them. And they have conquered them with terrorism to be what they are not. Just like the way we cannot be Muslim, you can't to begin to build towers in the north. You can't force them. It is impossible. Who is going to stay in tower? But we in tower, we want development. We want to beautify our city. Good. We want to live good life. So why are you forcing not? When they are telling you that eradicating innovation and we are embracing Sunai. Well, this is it, the picture. Innovation and embracing Sunai of the nomadic Fulanis. This is the agenda of the people ruling Nigeria from the north. To build good road, build good hospital, and you want to go to north. I want every Nigerian watching me today to understand that you can never it is their nature. Do not pity them. Because if you go to northern Nigeria, you are going to pity them. Why are you pitying them? That is their nature of life. You don't need to go and start pitying somebody's life because of his nature. And because, in the north, people are dying. Begging for food. It is their nature to beg. But it is not you. So we must understand our differences. We must understand where we are different, and otherwise. And this lifestyle is one of the differences we have. A northern Nigeria person to life. That's why when they are coming to your place, they carry kettle. They carry kettle and one bag. Because it is their place. You carry big bag. And you want to go and stay. Have you seen a Fulani man coming to your the bush where other Fulani people are staying. So why do you now worry about the same thing with you? I want us to, because this is very, very important. They said, it's distance from this, okay, choose, the anomaly was presented of a country with an aggregate revenue per but divided into two by an arbitrary line of latitude on a grant which in the year before amalgamation stood at £136,000. Average £314,500 for the 11-19-12. For the past 11 years, has been making money from the south and paying grant to the north. And mistake the British made being forced to make today, thinking that, you know, they don't need the help. I want you to begin to change your mental. You know, the British was giving, because they are nomadic, milk from cow directly. They eat nunu, they eat how they feed. They don't live on the yam like we do. No. They don't need to start going to the market to cook rice and cook ugu. No. They don't need to start. We are the ones that do that. Eat it. Well, they can't afford to kill their. They buy and kill it and give them money. So today, British was busy giving them £300,000. 11 good years. So they were actually living on the money Britain was making from southern Nigeria, because they were making money from southern Nigeria. It was being used to feed the north. The same thing is happening today. Nothing has changed. And the Britain is trying to also make you to continue their policy. The policy of you must stay in one Nigeria. Our sweat and our future to feed the north that does not need the money because of their nature. North does not, because it is not their nature to live in a glass house. But the Britain is telling you, build glass house in the north. They did. They are compelling us to do. And we are going to say enough is enough. It will stop this year. But see how they are going to govern Biafra land. Is it not? Let them do that. So we are going to see how they are going to govern Biafra. Enough is enough. Using our effort to compensate people that don't. And the difficulty in regard to the North to ensure the development of its trade and to secure its custom duties. A port on the 1906. By pushing on to Lagos Railway to the frontier, the Secretary of State sanctioned to carry it onto a junction with the Barocano line at Minna. In the opinion of Sir John Eagleson, director, when it reached the northern Nigeria frontier of Offa, should have crossed the Niger at Bateji, traversing and tapping the great trade center at the extremely costly and difficult bridge at Jeba, country to the north of it. The distance to Minna being precisely the same policy had, and the two outlets to this competition. And this thing, the thing is not showing on the screen. Sorry. This thing is not showing on the screen. You are a country and all that. You know about it's another country between the north and south. So which Benue, the today what you call the now major wagon to report on two railways and to use and control. He animated the needless cost which had the construction of the southern section was full of sharp curves and dangerous gradient, which had at an expenditure of £200,000. It was stated that the section to about difficulties has cost £2 million over £15,000. Unification of the control with a view of checking extravagant was the advent of the railway accentuated the need of custom duties collected at the port. The growing divergence of administrative method, interior become open up in the south. Also, now they started common policy where they actually, a way of a long memorandum dated May 1905 of the northern Nigeria. I advise a policy supported by the High Commissioner of South of Lagos, and there was increasing evidence be postponed. Do you this particular amalgamation of the opinion Nigerian who were in that place were not for, they say he's governor. So he's the governor of Lagos and governor of this and that. Let me get myself a water. Let me get myself some water, please.
Was it love or the great passion for Nigeria or Africa government to join the two protectorates? The British do not make such decisions out of. The British amalgamated Nigeria. They knew that Nigerians are different people, and that as soon as they packed their bags to chaos, but they joined the two protectorates together nonetheless. Everything Lord Lugard did was in the interest of the crown. Remember, Nigeria had no say in the issue. So how did money? Southern Protectorate was economically buoyant, revenue for the development of its territory. This was due to the fact spices, palm oil, and sugarcane in abundance, and this was further boosted due to the closeness to the sea. The Northern Protectorate, in fact, if the Northern Protectorate continued to stand alone, but to use their money earned from registered into the British Commonwealth to sustain the Northern Territory. Avoid that, and so devised the idea of and using that money to offset the deficit of the Northern Protectorate. But how could that be done without raising technical and administrative issues or even starting civil war? The answer was with the amalgamation of Nigeria came a single vast territory, coal, cotton, cocoa, palm oil, all for export in huge quantities to Britain. They even had seaports and made Nigeria a gold mine for the British, a truly profitable venture indeed. This visionary leadership brought Queen's Court in England, but has raised a lot of boiling issues today. At this point, you must be wondering, Nigeria.
All right, you're welcome back. You're welcome back. So, I've just seen the reason why the amalgamation took place. But tomorrow, on the decision to amalgamate, tomorrow we are going toward the close of 1911. So, join us tomorrow as we bring you the decision at that decision and explain it very well, because this is a very important document that we okay, it's not something the same day using for that is going to take segment by segment, 1 hour teaching. I'm going to open the telephone and I want to hear your opinion on this particular covering of the amalgamation document that everybody has been talking about for many years. We've been hearing amalgamation. Nobody have actually seen and how the amalgamation was decided. Today you are seeing it live and direct. It is not about somebody reading somewhere 14 that you are reading from our channel today. So let us hear your opinion from Enter Biafra channel 2. Logging in and calling us. Moving forward, and Exile is making a very tremendous, very tremendous progress, and in few days time you will know where we are. All right, the line is open, and we are going to take call for like 20. Give us a call. You're welcome. So I'm going to stop at exactly 150. Click the call and give us a call. Just click the mic. Log in. You must log in. And book Gmail or here we go. You're welcome to the program.
Yeah, hello, Simon.
Hello.
Hello, Simon.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Simon. I can hear you, Simon. Thank you. Thank you, Simon. My leader, you are my leader, you are my prime minister. I don't want to, because the whole world can see exactly what you are doing to God Almighty will keep on sustaining you for us. You are called, and He will continue to be your strength. So I just want, because as I was watching this your program today, somehow tears was coming down from my eye. How all will be a secret to all the Southerners, why the Fulanis that we, as nomadic people or people that didn't go to school, they have this thing that you're saying. The reason why I'm saying it is this: actions. When you look at the way they behave, the way they talk, they have full knowledge of all exposition.
Yes.
They know. That's why one day one of them was saying that the riverine area belongs to. I think you have come across that very video.
Yes, of course.
When this thing, he was indirectly, mocking the South. He was indirectly telling the South that it had and it shall continue to be like that. But I thank God for this generation. I thank I thank God for IPOP members and decide that this time will be so. And thank you very much. I pray that God Almighty will continue to strengthen you. So our ancestors are with you. I have a vital information to give you, and I was waiting, but I don't know how I will pass that information. It is about security, and I don't know. Our phone number, pass the information through him, but I have been calling him since then.
Oh wow, that's our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your strength. I bless God on your behalf. Biafrans are going home. Indeed, we are blessed. It is divine mandate that we must perform. God will help us. God will bring it to come to pass. Thank you once again for your time.